Hi, Patience here. I'm here today to talk a little bit about the TAPIF program, the Teaching Assistantship Program in France, more specifically in French Guiana. I'm going to talk a little bit about my experience thus far in the program. I will go from the beginning, from when I accepted the position until now. Usually people will know in April, so you apply to the TAPIF program through the French Embassy, the French Ministry of Education, and they will let you know by email whether or not you've been accepted into the program. Or once they let you know you've been accepted, and then once you decide that you still want to do it, you let them know you want to do it, and then from then on it's kind of like the waiting game. So April, then you wait around until the summer, June, July, August. That's when most of the stuff is done. So once you've accepted the position, then in the summer you'll get more information. The first major piece of information that you get is your arrêté de nomination. This piece of information is what you'll need to present to the consulate, the French consulate, when you go get your visa. In July, I got my arrêté de nomination in an email. It was scanned over to me. Then after that, I would suggest making your visa appointment even before you get your arrêté de nomination. You also have to watch the website. You go on and check on the website, because that's the only way you can make the appointment, through the website. Sometimes you get lucky that dates can become available, but you have to really take that really quickly before someone else does. Lots of people that are going to France at the same time, and they will all need to make an appointment. You're gonna get your arrêté de nomination, which will state your school and who your administrative person is, your teacher whom you'll be working with. That will have that on there. Basically, for me, getting to Guiana wasn't the difficult part. There were just a couple of pieces of information that I didn't know or that weren't clarified. So keep up with your emails and ask a lot of questions. On my arrêté de nomination, it stated that I was working in 2 towns. But I didn't know that, because I didn't know if one town had an extra long name or what it was. So on my arrêté de nomination, it states that I'm working in either it was Saint-Georges and then Matoury. Saint-Georges is a small town near the river, about 3,000 people. And Matoury is a town in Cayenne, the capital of Guyana, and Cayenne has 50,000 people. So I saw Matoury at the end of my thing, so I thought, oh, that's where I'll be teaching. So I sent an email asking about housing and things like that, but from what I gathered, you don't really get to know. A lot of people, the way they do it is they will gather all that information once they get here. They will also send you a list of all the other assistants that are coming to your specific region. So because I am in Guiana, I got a list of all the assistants from all the other countries that are coming to teach their language. There are people from Spain, from England, from the Netherlands, from Brazil, you name it. So they're coming here to teach Spanish, English, Portuguese, things like that. It will list the name, their contact information, and where they're going to teach, and how many hours they're going to teach. 12 hours a week, no more than that. One very important information about Guyana is that it's not very easy to get here. Getting a flight to get here is very difficult. It takes a long time to get here. So because I live in New York State, I flew through Montreal. I could drive to Montreal. It takes me a few hours to drive to Montreal, and then my flight was from Montreal to Paris, and then Paris to Guiana. That's across the Atlantic twice, I know. But the reason why I did that was because, one, the other flights took like 50 hours or more. And although I might have paid a little bit more, I think the way I did it was a little bit better because I wanted to get here as soon as I could so that I could get myself started and find out all that I needed to know about my school and where I'm going to live, because you don't know anything about housing until you get here, really. Be prepared to be very independent. You're gonna have to do things on your own. You're gonna have to find, if you need to find something out, don't wait and say, oh, they're gonna tell us, or they're gonna let us know, or you're gonna have to do it yourself. You're an adult. Be ready to be an adult, because when we got here, someone did pick us up, which was good. Someone picked us up. They ask you to let them know your flight and when you're gonna get here and everything. And a lot of flights get delayed here, so just make sure you keep up with that. People stopped in Miami, Aruba, Martinique. There's a lot of layovers in Suriname and then here. That's the reason why I went to Europe and then here, because mostly it's French people that come to Guyana. So the only airlines that come here are Air France and Caribbean Airlines. So they're all mostly from mainland France. I did it that way just to cut the time short, because I didn't feel like having 24-hour layovers and, you know, waiting around for days just to get here. So I went over to Paris, and then Paris to here was a straight shot. The first night, they will drop you off at the Maison de l'Éducation. That's where you'll be hosted for your introduction and orientation until you leave for your school, which it could be anywhere in Guiana. In my case, when I got here, I called the administrative person that I was assigned to, and she was very nice, and she met up with me and drove me around a little bit, showed me where I'll be working in Matoury. And then she told me about St. George, where I will be splitting up my time. I'll be working here for half the time, and then I'll go back to Matoury for the other half. But I didn't know any of that stuff until I got here. So that's what I mean by you kind of have to really be specific in your questions and find out exactly how it's going to work. And I didn't have housing or anything like that before I got here. There are websites that you can, depending on where you are, that's the thing, depending on the city that you live in. And for me, I didn't know exactly where I was. So I couldn't really look for apartments and things like that, and I didn't really want to look online either, just because I want to see it in person, make sure that everything is good and well before I pay for something. So that's why I got here a week before, just so I would have time to get all of those things done. The first night we got here, and it was so hot, and we didn't know anything about the town, so they kind of just dropped us off at the house where we'll be hosted, and then they left. So we were just there like, okay, how do we get around? How do you have to make a bank account, you have to apply for the health insurance, which they help you do, by the way. You don't do that on your own. They will help you do that. But everything else, you're kind of on your own. If you want to go around the town and find out, you do that on your own. Another really important piece of information about Guyana is that I'll tell you that you need to be ready to walk. Like, get ready to walk around everywhere. Get your comfortable shoes when you get here, put them on, and walk everywhere, because that's the only way you're gonna get to know the place. There are buses in Cayenne when you get here, but they're not very reliable. The hours are just for show, apparently, and they do come around if you're willing to wait, but the best thing I would suggest is just walk around. That's what when we got here, we walked around. For example, the first day we got here, we got here in the evening, so the next day we had to go and make a bank account. We got dropped off, me and a couple of the other assistants that got here first, we got dropped off at the bank, and then after making our bank accounts, we had to find our way back to the house. and this is our first day here. We didn't know where we are. We didn't know how to get back to the house. It could have been like literally around the corner, but we didn't know that because it was our first day. So you kind of have to be ready to kind of figure things out on your own. So we had to get a map and figure it out and walk around. So we walked around the town and we figured it out from there. Also with food, you don't know anything about food, so you have to walk around and find out where food is. And yeah, that's that. So not that they don't tell you, but that you are not as, how do I'm here to dance. I'm here to dance. I'm here to dance. Oh yeah. Okay, I'm not here to dance. I am here. This video is, it's not gonna get made today. There's all kinds of things flying at me right now.